I have been meaning to do this video for actually quite a few days, and seeing that it's really miserable outside, I thought that's it. It's the perfect timing, perfect weather to make this video. And this is all about pakoras or bhajias or bhajis. What else do you call pakoras?
Samosas?
No, not samosas. She clearly wants to eat samosa. And it is like a masterclass for pakoras. So I'm just going to show you lots of various things you can do with your pakoras. So let's get cooking. So obviously we all love pakoras, and I'm going to show you something to do with onions, some potatoes, chilies, cauliflower, aubergine, all this stuff. So let's get started. So first thing to do is make the batter, and usually pakoras are made in gram flour batter, which is the chickpea flour or besan, and I have got here 200 grams of that. And just a few basic spices go in. So you could use chaat masala. I'm using a teaspoon of chaat masala. If you don't have chaat masala, you can use some amchur powder, which is absolutely fine. I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of ajwain, which is carom seeds. And it's something really nice to have when you're making pastries, pakoras. Also goes in some red chili powder, and I'm going to add 3/4 teaspoon of salt. You could add some turmeric to enhance the color, but that is completely optional. I don't always add it. I sometimes skip it, sometimes add it. And now I'm just going to mix it. Now, like the dough, I would say don't add all the water together. So I'm just going to slowly add. So that is 100 ml. And I'm going to mix it and see if I need more. Yeah, definitely will need more. So there goes a bit more. Another 50. And that's a lovely batter ready. So for the aubergine, aubergine has got a lot of moisture in it, so I'm going to slice it thinly. And then I'm going to sprinkle some salt on top, so that it gets the moisture out of the aubergines. A little bit of salt and a little bit of turmeric. And I'm just going to let it rest for a few minutes. So the key is that the reason for showing you all these pakoras are because you can see that they are so easy to make. You can kind of choose and mix and match and make it your own. So once we've got our batter ready, so you've seen how quickly you can make that ready. I'm going to first pakoras I'm going to make it is the potato pakoras. I'm thinking, what am I making? The potato pakoras, aloo pakoras. Now obviously you can peel it or not peel it as well, that's fine. So I'm just going to peel the potatoes, and then potato, I'm just going to thinly slice these. If they're too thick, then they won't cook in while you're frying it. So make sure that you cut really thin slices of the potatoes. Right, so you can see they are really thin slices, and here is our lovely mixture. And I'm just going to put these pieces in here and take it for frying. I've got here sunflower oil. Now to check if it's ready, I'm just going to use a drop of, that's it, it's ready. I'm just going to reduce the heat and take one slice at a time and just make sure that it's covered in the batter, and just very carefully slide it in, and do the same with all the potatoes. So these are beautifully golden, and I have turned them over. They're golden on both sides, and I'm going to get these out. Now if you can see closely, then you can see that there is water on top of the aubergine pieces, and that's the moisture coming out from there. And I'm just going to press these in between two sheets of kitchen roll just to absorb the excess. To use exactly the same batter and just dip these and fry. So obviously I'm using exactly the same batter. I haven't done anything to the batter. Just dipping the aubergine in here, getting rid of the extra mix so that it's not too thick. So that it's got like a nice thin layer of batter, and then fry them for a couple of minutes. Now these are looking beautifully golden. I have cooked them on both sides, and it's time to get them out. So for the cauliflower pakoras, all you do is just pick the florets off and then cut them into bite-sized pieces straight into our batter, which is already ready. The same batter is amazing for potatoes, aubergines, cauliflower. Right, and I'm ready to fry it. So you just dip each floret, get rid of the excess, and in goes into the oil. So with the cauliflower pakoras, because cauliflower is a bit takes a bit longer to cook. Once we get a light golden color, we're going to get this out of the pan. Moving on to the onion pakoras. I quite often like to use the red onions for the pakoras, but obviously absolutely any onions are fine. Now we have finished all the batter, and there's a good reason for that, because with the onion pakoras we work slightly differently. What we do is we actually start with the onions in the mixture, or you can add the onions to a ready batter, absolutely can, but you don't want the onion bhajis to be very battery. Otherwise you want them to be nice and crunchy and oniony. So I'm just going to chop the onions in a bowl, and instead of making a batter and then chopping the onions, I'm going to add the flour to this, and then just use minimum flour as possible, which will give me the best onion pakoras. So we've got our chopped onions, and we add the flour just enough to coat the onions. So I took one large onion and I took 3 tablespoons of gram flour, and then I'm going to add the spices: 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon chili powder, the same spices really, chaat masala or amchur powder, And you can add carom seeds. If you have bought them, then make the most of it and add the carom seeds. And then I'm going to add just extremely very little water, just so that the flour sticks to, and the best way to really understand if you've got enough water is by doing it by hand, because with the spoon you really can't get it right. Look, that's just enough to kind of make the flour stick. So there's no like runny batter to this. And now I'm going to fry these. So I'm just going to take small pieces, small bunches, and very carefully place them. You can see that it's not covered in batter. It's just the perfect amount, and that's going to give you the best onion bhajis. And the same kind of theory goes for spinach pakoras. So what we do is we chop it up roughly so that they're not big pieces with leaves. Put them in the bowl, not into the batter but into a bowl. And then these are like onion pakoras, where you add the flour to it rather than dip these into a batter. So there you go. There goes our spinach. Again, a couple of tablespoons of gram flour. Again, quarter teaspoon of salt, chili powder, and chaat masala goes in. Mix, mix, mix. Then use your hands, just a few drops of water till you can see that the flour has stuck to. Now I have added 2 extra drops of water, so it's become too wet. See, that's why. So I'm going to have to add another tablespoon of flour. That's the right consistency, where you can see that it's sticky, it's lovely sticky, and now it's ready to be fried. So I've cooked the onion pakoras on both sides. Can you see how amazing they look? Oh my god, these are my absolute favorite. Absolute favorite. And now I am going to make the spinach ones. So I've got the spinach in the with the brown flour, and I'll just take small bits and fry them. So just little bits. Be very careful if you're not used to deep frying. So now you would say, why are these not ready? Well, because cauliflower needs a bit extra time to cook, so we've cooked them and then really soft, spongy. Now that's not how pakoras should be. So let it cool slightly and then very gently press it and then flatten it. So I'm going to do the same with all the pieces. So it's time to turn them over, and these cook really quickly, but don't cook anything on extremely high heat. I'm doing all of this on medium heat so that we get a really crispy pakora. You can see these are ready to come out. Oh my god, it's a feast in the house. It's a pakora party. Lovely. Now I have got the pan empty, so I am going to fry the cauliflower ones, which I have flattened. So they go into for a second fry. And one more thing you can fry, obviously you can fry many more things, are chilies. And you can use the tiny small ones, which I do a lot of times, but I have got a few of these big chilies, and I'm just going to put a slit so that it doesn't burst open when I'm frying it. So once you slit it, then you can put it in our lovely batter and just fry it. Now you can see that they have got the color that we were looking for, the lovely deep golden. And the best bit about cauliflower pakoras are these bits where they have been smashed. They go extra crispy. Oh my god, awesome. So we've got the chili, which is, make sure you slit it, otherwise it will burst in the oil. And just dip, 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 fry, fry, fry. And just look at this plate of pakoras. So the main reason for doing this was so that it's really, you don't hesitate while making a bhajia or a pakora, because it is so easy, guys. It is so easy. And just remember, making onion and spinach pakoras, you chop the vegetable up first, then add the flour. And the other ones are just so easy. Just one batter, and you can make the batter and then go into the fridge and check what you have, what you can use, and they all taste, I promise, they all taste very different. I know you think, oh my god, the same batter, but they taste very different because the vegetable lends to the flavor. So I really do hope you are going to give this a try, and I'm going to have a pakora party once the chilies are done. My friends are coming over and I am going to enjoy this with them. Yes! You can serve it with a green coriander chutney, you can serve it with ketchup and mayo, you can serve it with tamarind chutney, and you know where to find these recipes on the channel.